To the Taylor. Welcome everyone to the Taylor School District regularly scheduled board meeting of January 22nd, 2025, excuse me, where our mission statement is to educate, engage, and empower those we serve. And our vision statement is that we will be the innovative destination district where all succeed. I'm gonna call this meeting at 6:02. And I'll do the roll call. I am here. Um, Let's see, Schufelt is not here. Board member, right?
Here.
Board member Block,
Here.
board member Fields,
Here.
board member Moore, it's not here. Board member Mordarski.
Here.
Okay, we have a quorum of 5 members. If everyone could join in us and rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, we're going to move on to good news, starting off with the Kenyon girls basketball group. Woo. Come on up.
Well, I'd like to start off by congratulating the Kenyon girls basketball team on winning the district championship for the 2nd year in a row. They were determined to repeat, and they did not disappoint. They finished the regular season undefeated. They breezed through the end of the season tournament. A couple of interesting statistics about this team, because I'm a stats geek. They outscored their opponents 162-42 on the season. It's an average score of 20-5. And the other interesting one, they haven't lost a game in 444 days. Let's just say that the future of Lady Griffins basketball is in good shape with these girls. And congratulations. Not everyone's here due to the weather, but we have Maddie McSpadden. We have Abby Bell. We have Sophia Sadler. We have Isabella Spano. We have Nancy Pingelli, who's trying to hide her. And then we have Maya Lunisi.
Can we have them come up and stand up front so we can get a photo?
Sure.
All right, with the coaches as well. They're important. Awesome.
Well, that is really great news. And congratulations again. We'll move on to the second portion of the good news agenda. CT construction students featuring Bob Murray.
Bob Murray, I've never been featured, but that's cool. So I guess I am featured on a slideshow here that we have. None of my students are here. The ones that did respond to my remind said, no way, Miss Murray, it's way too cold. You know, we don't like the cold. So they wanted me to add this to the slide presentation. I really am not familiar with Bob the Builder, except that's what they like to call me every once in a while, being that they're pretty smart and smart alecky. So go ahead, next. Nice, man. All right, so we have students a month, just like every program at CTE. And if they were here, we can kind of acknowledge them. So both these guys are big time leaders. Cody actually won in the marketing for DECA, right? So he's in two programs, CTE. The other young man is Dylan Grimm, who is actually part of our CTE advisory committee. We're required to have a committee of business professionals and a student. And he's such a mature kid. They thought he was like a 25-year-old kid, but he's not 25. He's 18, not even 18, but great kid, great worker. So those are my September students of the month. October, Yazin Aljade is a junior. Was from Taylor. Jaden Morgan, as they like to call him, J Dog, is another leader. Mom works in the district as well. Both very, very good workers. In November is Jasmine Serrano. I had her older brother. He also went to Trillium a couple of years ago. She does a great job. Certainly not intimidated. Goes right in. Doesn't mind telling the boys what they should be doing. Because if you don't know, girls are way more mature than boys at this age. The other one is Hayden Reifsnyder, a kid who's really just excelled. Last year, a real quiet kid. He has turned into just a real stud. Make sure everything's done and done properly all the time. December, Rael Wynn and Sean Bejic, both, again, second-year kids have done really, really well. And from the first year to the second year, when I pop in the first year class, you really see the growth and maturity of these kids. And not only that, what they're doing is better quality, but they're more confident. And that's really the whole idea of having a second year program, is to have them experience some things that they didn't do the first year. And these are kids that are actually interested in doing this for a living. They're not, they're just taking a class because it kind of satisfies some of the requirements. At the beginning of the year, we helped out 26M and the administration at both of these schools, Holland McDowell. If you remember, they weren't open on time because we had so much work that had to be done over the summer. I volunteered our guys, which they kind of like, kind of don't like, but I volunteered them to go over there and spend the whole day over there working under the direction of whomever was in charge. And the principals certainly appreciate it. And kids had a good time going back. Some of them back to their own, I went here, 8 years ago type thing. Kind of cool for them to go back. This here is what we did over the transportation department. They have these portables that we're familiar with out the district. Some of the wood's so rotted that you can actually put your hand through and touch the drywall on the inside. We rehung the gutter, replaced a whole bunch of wood, replaced the railing. We replaced the steps there a couple of years ago. You see the rotted wood, the top middle picture of that was kind of like the wood everywhere, just rotted. Replaced that, painted everything, caulked it. On the bottom, we have an access hole that we put in. That white skirting on the middle bottom is skirting we put around the entire transportation department last year because, again, it was so rotted that animals were getting through there and what have you, mechanicals exposed. We did that last year. This year, we put in the access hole so somebody could crawl in and actually do some work under there. I can't find my one picture that says before, but that's Taylor High School. So you see before, so what we did is we installed benches. So we had to pour concrete over there. It's their first experience doing the concrete. Didn't have to be 100% smooth because the bench is going over it, but we put in 10 benches there. You see the kids working in the middle. Before was the walkway walking up to where the main office is, where the flagpole is. The right side was the front area where the buses pull up. And now they have 10 benches the kids are actually utilizing versus sitting on the grass or waiting inside. Kids had a great time doing that. This here is at our building. Our wonderful leader, Miss Bernard, always finds things for me to do around there. This here is a board. This is a board that we put up, and it recognizes different programs. As soon as you walk in, it's kind of like a business atmosphere. You walk in, it's organized, it's clear where to go and what have you. So kids did that. This here was a dilemma that we had at the chopping block, or CB's Cafes, they call it now. There was a leak. If you look at the left picture, there's a refrigerator for like pop or what have you. Right behind there is a pipe coming down, and it had a 4-foot crack in it. It had been leaking and leaking and leaking. So they came in one day and they walked in. It was like a sponge on the floor. Obviously, and it was leaking so bad, it was leaking out into the hallway. So we removed the rotted wood. And then on the left side, you see the kids laying the glue to put the tile down. And on the right side, you see the end picture. That was VCT tile, which is vinyl composition tile, which is a commercial use. Lowe's gave us probably about 100 boxes like 3 years ago. So unbelievable donation. Why not use it there? It's a good application. It looks beautiful. Maintenance did a beautiful job waxing. I think it looks very professional. Kids could put up code base, which is the stuff you see around buildings. Kids enjoy doing that. This was here like a 3-year project. That is a pavilion that we built in between both buildings at the Career Center. And we had the metal roof donated and probably about 2-3 years ago. And just because of the fact that this is really like only the second year, we actually had just a sole second-year program. It's always been a combined. So it's hard to get 4 or 5 kids out on the roof when the other kids want to do something too. And you can only have so many kids up on the roof. So the second-year kids actually finished the roof. They put up the peak is what they did. So it felt good to accomplish getting that metal cap done. Right at that pavilion is a grill that we've been working on for a couple of years. That stone is obviously it's what we call faux stone. It's or FAU or FAUX. It's however you want to say it, I suppose. But they built a grill, so we had the welding kids build us the grate so we can actually have a picnic out there, and it's an area that a lot of the classes use in the springtime when it gets warmer. We hung up some strips for hanging artwork or what have you. We did that down by Medical. They ordered like 100 feet of it, so we put that up for them so they can hang whatever they're doing and show the rest of the programs what they do down there. It's a kind of an easy project. This is something that we got some notoriety with, thanks to the police department. They had approached me about building a simulation room, and I didn't know what that was. So we've all seen where SWAT comes in, kicks in the door, and they go back to back, and they're raiding a house. Well, they don't have any place to practice that, and they too need training, just like we all need training. So at the old fire department, which is behind the city hall, they had this area which was, I think, bunks and cooking or what have you. So we turned that in from empty rooms to we built walls, and now they can actually go in there and use that as training. So they were so appreciative. The kids love going there. And again, us having a liaison officer in the schools is just a great dynamic. So you see in the next picture here, they actually threw a pizza party for the kids. All right. They threw a pizza party for the kids. They gave them a certificate. They met Police Chief Blair. They talked about what that's going to be used for. And I know the kids had fun doing the project, but when they got to hear why it's so important, and the brutal honesty was, they said, if you're interested in becoming a cop, and even if you don't like some of the things that you see that are happening on TV or video or TikTok or what have you, it's your opportunity to spend some time with us. And if you're maybe interested in doing this for a living, come talk to us. And I had 2 students talk to them, which is cool. So they're all getting pictures taken. They're getting their certificate. We had a pizza party. There's only one kid not in the picture who had to run home. And he's not there. But I have 11 kids in the afternoon, 10 in the morning. All right. So PRC, which is that building, that's that blue building. What is that blue building out in the parking lot of the high school? It's PRC, Professional Resource Center. Back in the day, they did die cuts, printing, and we still have printing going on there, but it's changed as to maybe it's the majority of its purpose. So it's a building that hasn't had a whole bunch of attention. Bottom right-hand picture was the impetus for us to even go over there. They have a high-low that they use to move things in and out, computers, parts, or what have you. And underneath the door, the concrete was so buckled, they couldn't get the high-low out the door. They couldn't get things in, couldn't get things out. They'd have to carry them in. So we started doing that. And when I met Mr. Ross over there, he came up with a whole list of things that we can be doing. You see top right, almost to the end there, we're actually taking a bathroom. It's not being utilized. And we tore up the ceramic tile there, and the kids are going to put in ceramic tile on the floor. The walls were also ceramic tile, but as soon as we touched them, they just kind of literally fell. So we're putting paneling on the walls, batten board, new ceramic tile, new toilet, and a new vanity in there. Some other things were kind of like just concerns to me. There's some exit doors that didn't have exit signs, so we ran a wire to that, got that hooked up, sanded some rooms, took some junk out of there. So we got probably about another week over there. We got to paint the office area. All right, next. We were asked by TBLA to help them assemble some bookshelves that they got a couple months ago. So being that we don't have enough people to do everything in every school, we certainly have no problem doing something like this. So we put 5 shelves together in the TBLA area. And then for Sandra Clark, we had 2 or 3 kids stay the next day with the supervision of Sandra, and I forget the other lady. But they put 2 or 3 more together in another room adjacent to TBLA. All right, so in the past, we've done some things in the community. Left, you see, we did a pergola for a Taylor resident, which is super cool for the kids to actually I mean, we talk about real world, going to the district and doing something on transportation, but this is for a customer with a customer there. Did that. We did a ticket booth at Robichaud a couple years ago. We did a shed for a Taylor resident, and we did a pergola, same thing like we did in the first picture there in the community. And we get calls all the time. Usually it's, can you help us move stuff to the garage for a garage sale? And we're not available for those. All right, so future projects. So I've been working close with Mr. Gribble here over the last couple months. Hopefully, we can build a storage building. We've talked in the past about doing something over at McDowell, which has been started. We just haven't gotten any further than that. Holland. And then I have down here, if you're familiar with the Edgewood Elementary, used to be over by the bridge. It's kind of near the old Hull Brothers or whatever it's called now, the rental place and Marathon gas station near the Blue Bridge. Bob Harple, who was a longtime employee here, and his wife, he built 9 houses on 10 lots. That 10th lot has never been built on. It's been sitting there for 10 years. We maintain it. We do the snow, we do the grass. And probably about 4 or 5 years ago, some people from the board asked me, can we finish doing that? And my answer was certainly, let's do that. So we're kind of working towards that. Is what we'd like to do is finish that 10th house on the corner, get rid of the property, make some money doing it. And the last one is tiny house community. You can go to the next picture if you want. I went last year to an area in Detroit off the Lodge, and they had 32 houses, all little or tiny houses. Every one of them's different, every single one. And they have an architect who's gratis to sitting down with people and coming up with a plan for them. Now, tiny is probably like, 15, 16 feet by 30 feet or what have you. These are people that are in this house, are people who couldn't qualify for a mortgage. I've talked to Mr. Zymek from the city. We're kind of talking about some things in regards to vets and what have you. So maybe that's an option. Each one of those houses is built by somebody. It might be Habitat for Humanity, it might be Chase Bank that went out there, it might be whatever. But they also had 2 schools go out there and do those. And they're in Detroit, and those schools that went out there are not in Detroit. But they got excused for like a week or 2 or whatever it was. And that's really how long it takes for them to do that. They have it, kids go out there all day and work on that. And I think that's a great thing for the community. And on the right side, we went out and visited Lenawee ISD. And they build tiny houses, but they build them on a trailer and they're mobile. That costs them about $55,000 to build. And last year they had 2 that were bought, one in Florida, and I forget where the other one was. And they came from Florida, and wherever the other state was, they came and picked them up and bought them. And they only bought them for like a $5,000 profit. But again, the kids get the experience. The other thing that's happening is kind of interesting. Is the Department of Natural Resources and the state of Michigan have campgrounds, which we're all aware of, and they have different types of housing there. There's another one, I forgot what school it is, but they have built these little cabins, tiny cabins, And the state has purchased them from them, and they cost about 15 or 20 to build, and they're selling them to the state for like 35 or 40. They're making $20,000. The kids get the experience. So those are things that, we're kind of looking at doing. I wish the kids were here to talk. I'm sure they would be proud of what they do, but they're not. So they have a good time doing it. So anything you guys have for me, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Other than thank you, I know, Bob, you've been working tirelessly on trying to provide opportunities and get the second year program started, which has been around for 2 years now, right?
Yeah, yeah, solely
Yeah.
by itself, 2 years.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just thank you for the work that you put in, and thank you for continuing to look for opportunities to provide our students,
No
especially
problem.
with the real world.
Thank you.
Sure. Actually, I have a question. You mentioned metal roofing.
Yep.
So I'll tap your knowledge base. I have some neighbors who are looking at that. Is that kind of the way to go for residential now or no?
Yes and no. You'll hear a lot of people, a lot of companies advertising, if you want a free roof, give us a call. It is. I mean, and not only is it metal roof, like ours is a commercial use where you see it ribbed and it's 15 feet long. They have shingles that actually look like shingles. I mean, it's metal and you put them in. So, but it costs 2 or 3 times the cost of a regular roof. And I just heard on the way here, these companies are giving you a lifetime warranty, 50-year warranty, blah, blah, blah. So it's really what you prefer. I like shingles, I like the look of the shingles. A metal shingle is not going to look like a real shingle no matter what.
Well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Okay, moving on to the agenda, board and discussion items. Actually, I think that's our interim secretary.
Yes, I'm assuming the duty one last time while our secretary is out. So item number 4 on the agenda is the revision / approval of the agenda, policy 0166. Are there any revisions?
There is one revision. We're going to be striking agenda item 5 from our list. Other than that, I think we're good to go.
Under discussion and action,
This agenda, board and discussion item, item V.
Yeah, not in the discussion items, but in the.
oh,
the-
like Randall.
Yeah,
Okay.
Correct.
Sorry.
Student representatives.
I was like, ooh, okay.
Both areas, discussion and voting.
We're removing item number 5, student representatives. That's what.
Oh,
Cora's-
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay.
So Roman numeral number 5, essentially.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Okay, yeah,
Yes,
I
my
see- I see what he means now.
Like to add, and that's where I got the number 5. Under 8, the discussion items, and under the action items, the number 5, the athletics construction manager, until the next meeting. I just received the information on the company. And as a new board member, I have a meeting with Frank Moran on Friday. So I'm voting on something that I'm gonna learn about after the fact, and I'm not comfortable with that. So I'm requesting this be removed and put on the agenda at the next board meeting.
I support you on that as well, for the same reasons, actually. Yes.
So
Is,
removed and brought back or just table it? What's the preference?
Bring it back.
Okay.
after, Because I understand that there may be another meeting regarding
Mhm.
a bond and whatever.
Yeah.
So no, I don't want it, I absolutely do not want it removed.
Okay,
I
I-
just want it off tonight because I.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what I wanted to clarify, that we could also consider tabling because then you would be allowed to bring it back at the next meeting.
Or a motion to postpone too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, but I just want to clarify.
Rather just be off till next meeting.
is there any other discussion? All right. With that, is there a motion to approve the agenda with the revisions as stated? Motion by Ms. Fields. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Modarski. Ms. Schufelt is not here. Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Ms. Fields.
Yes.
Mr. Moore or Mrs. Moore is not here. Mr. Modarski.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 5-0. I said yeah.
Okay, we're gonna move ahead to item 6, the superintendent's student advisory representative.
So tonight I did ask some representatives from the student advisory that we had started to come and kind of update the board. I know this is kind of taking a progression of if they're taking that role of being the voice of students and how we govern and how we lead, I think it's right that they can have that opportunity to come and kind of give the board a taste of what we've been working on. So I really appreciate that Israel and Robert were both willing to come tonight, even though we had a cold day today. Bob didn't have his kids come. I was worried mine weren't coming either, but they showed up. So I'll hand it on over.
Well, SSA is actually like one of the many clubs that me and Robert are on. And to me personally, I feel like it's one of the more impactful clubs that I'm on. I feel like I have the most voice in this club. And with being on like so many other ones, I genuinely feel like this is making a change. And that's why I joined so many clubs in the first place, because I want to make a change in our community. And also with just I've been on like both sides of like, I guess being like a good kid and being a bad kid. And I have freedom of, not freedom, but an input to give that will be heard, of just how it feels to be on both sides of those spectrum. And do you have anything to say about that?
Okay. My very first year at Taylor High, I wasn't really a club kind of person. And then, I started seeing things around our school that I didn't like. So I was looking for more clubs that, I could, suggest things to make our school better. And my very first meeting with Mr. Wager, I was very impressed. I was heard. I loved every moment of it. Everyone had great ideas, and I'm looking forward to being here longer and making sure the school is better than what it is now for the next class.
Like along with the stuff that we've been talking about in SSA, one of our more important things that we're actually putting action to right now is we had a guest speaker come in from the organization of No Place for Hate, and she basically talked to us about how it is to run an organization like that across your school district, basically. And given with us taking it back as a student's perspective, we saw that maybe into implementing the No Place for Hate into our district wouldn't more so be, I guess, more successful if we implemented it in all our grade levels. So we decided as SSA members that it might be a better option if we start this at our lower levels of like elementary and take it from our elementary as those graduating classes, they go into middle school and high school, and it's taken from there. So seeing it from our side is that it won't be as effective and taken seriously, because it hasn't been brought up with us, so it's this new concept that we're just like, what's going on, so we thought, of course, this is great for our school district, but it'll be more successful if we started at our lower grade levels. Along with other things, genuinely just being on SSA, I love that we include not just like it being at one place, we include all schools. We also include different grade levels, different clubs, different classes. Especially also, we were talking about what's going on with adding our bond money to the athletics department in the high school, and being a varsity athlete at our high school with one of the like more, I guess, unseen and like underrated clubs, which is tennis. I would love to come back on another meeting and talk more about that with you guys as well. So we've talked about that. We've had great input because there's more than just me as an athlete. There's tons of different athlete kids, tons of different clubs, and they've all put our input on what we should do with that as well. I just feel like we've been having a good time with it as well as it kind of felt, this is me and Robert's first year.
Yeah.
So when we did meet Mr. Wegler, we were just about, well, it's a little like stereotypical, like, oh, it's the superintendent, it's like scary, but it's not. It was so welcoming and inviting. And I feel like this should just be advertised to more kids, especially not just are seen as like good kids with, straight A's and stuff. I think that kids who have been suspended and kids who have failing grades should have voice too, because
It's good
they-
to get both sides.
yes, and it's good to know what they feel like they need to succeed as well. So overall, I really enjoy the club and I really like the stuff that we're implementing with it as well. And I know Robert
Pretty
does too.
much summed it up, and I enjoy every moment of it also, so
Yeah. So thank you for listening to us.
thank you guys.
Thank you all for being here. Yeah.
Thank you.
And I'll say this, my cabinet knows I look forward to it every month because it's the moment I feel like I'm back in the classroom and I really feel like it's back to where I started. So it fills my bucket every month. So.
Okay, moving on to item 7, scheduled reports. Taylor Public School Foundation for Educational Excellence, with Armando and Kimber.
That's a tough act to follow, but a
little.
great one. That's a good segue into what we do, and I want to thank you guys for letting us come up here and talk a little bit about what we do and what we're going to be doing in the future. I'm going to let Armando start with some of our items that we're going to be talking about.
Okay, good. Thanks for having us this evening. A few things we did want to cover with you as the agenda that we had put on the table. We had gotten a $10,000 donation from BJ's, a warehouse company here in town. We actually, Rhonda and I used to work there. And actually, the only people that can actually have an ability to apply to grant is somebody that works there. So she got that started for us. And the way the grant was put together was the $10,000 is going to be used for supporting the grant process we have within the school where teachers actually ask for funds for programs in their classroom. And getting on to that, the next item on the list, actually, we gave out $14,000 in grants in December to 27 teachers or principals in the school district. The checks were delivered, I think at the end of November. And actually, each one had a photo taken with one of these big checks in front of them. And they were all posted on our Facebook, so it's gotten quite a few contacts in that way. The other thing we have going, you have a flyer in front of you, is a dinner at the Famous Days. It's going to be on Thursday, February 27th. We had one in the fall that was on Wednesday. It happened to be one of your meeting nights, actually. Well, this isn't. This will be on a Thursday night. And again, it actually covers from lunch, noon till 8 p.m. And we get 20% of the proceeds. The other thing that happened too, turns out, which I didn't even think about, Wednesday is not a dinner night. Thursday is a lot more of a dinner night and they get a lot more people. I think the previous time we did it was on a Thursday and there were quite a few people that showed up at the restaurant. So hopefully you can join us on the 27th. The other thing on the agenda, actually, there's something that's not on the agenda. We forgot to put on. We're part of the Michigan Foundation. They have meetings every once in a while. We interact and network with other groups around the state. We learn quite a bit from them. One of the ideas we got from them is to actually have a welcome kit to new kindergarten students. I had a meeting with Emily before the holidays, and she's helped set up a meeting with Liz Biddle. I've got a meeting with her next week to see how we might be able to promote that to the incoming students coming in September. And basically what it is pretty interesting. They have a lawn sign that shows what school the student's going to. The lawn sign hopefully has somebody who's sponsoring it, so it pays for the cost of the lawn sign. The other cute thing is they give out a t-shirt to each of the students. And rather than trying to find out the size of every one of these different students, they give all of them a large. They put on the front of it the year that they're going to graduate, and so that it can grow into the T-shirt as they get into high school. It's a really cute idea. So we're going to try to duplicate that also. The other thing we learned about was what the next item is. It's something we've never done before. We had a meeting with the Trenton Group, Trenton Foundation. They've done it for 13 years already. And what it is, it's honoring people in the community who've done significant things for the school system. Not just donating money, but really applying quite a bit of time and effort and helping out the school system. We've got in front of you, there should be a sheet that gives you a little more detail as to what that is, and also the criteria that to go by to make a nomination. I was hoping by now we'd have it on our webpage. We're having a little bit of an issue webpage wise, so it's not on our webpage yet. But we'll be taking nominations based on the criteria you have set. And then there's also a selection committee that's going to be evaluating them, and this is where Kimber starts.
So from the selection, thank you, Armando. From the selection, we're going to have 3 members from our foundation be a part of that selection committee. And then we need 2 school board members selected from you guys. We would like to have on that selection committee, and then 1 administration person decided by the school administration. So we're looking forward to trying to pull this together. It's to raise a lot of money that goes towards our grants and our scholarships that goes to our students, such as the ones that you had here for all types of things that I've seen tonight that they do for our community. Talk a little bit about our scholarships. Our scholarships are going, we're starting the process to award the scholarships. They will be due in the first week of February. We've given out, what was it, last year? Last year, we gave out 43 scholarships that equated to $41,000. So we want to keep moving that number up. So that's why we're trying to do a lot of these galas, fundraisers, even if they're just getting launched, it all helps out. And then February 13th is the State of the City address that the Taylor Rotary puts on, and the mayor does a State of the City address as a featured speaker. Right now we have, the foundation sponsors 2 tables, and one of the tables right now is for Kelly Holes High School History Government class. And then I know that there's a little change, but we'll have another table that we're going to decide on how we're going to represent students or the school district as well. And then the last thing I want to invite any school member that would like to come to our meetings. We have them once a month. We're kind of switching them from an evening to a morning every other month. So I'll be glad to give you the schedule. Kyle was kind enough to join us last month, and he's joined us before on occasion. And it's just nice just to kind of have that partnership, because at the end of the day, we're all wanting the same thing for students and the community. So thank you again for letting us come up here and speak. And if you have any questions, you can always reach Armando and myself. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you for all the work you're continuing to do. Moving on to agenda item 8, discussion items. And we will begin with overnight conference request, MIAAA conference with Jason Grimm.
Good evening and thank you. So this conference is for Chris Simons. The MIAAA stands for the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association. So just like all administrators in our district belong to a different M group, this is the state M group for athletic directors. And knowing that Chris has been on staff for, I think it's a year now. And he finally just celebrated his year full-time anniversary. So this gives Chris an opportunity to go up to the conference, meet with other athletic directors, meet with the MHSAA, and get up to date with all the things that are going on within athletics, especially knowing there's a lot of new Title IX stuff that's going through. So it gives him an opportunity to go to the conference. Also, part of this conference is classes for him. He's working on the CAA, which is a Certified Athletic Administrator. So it gives him an opportunity to attend some of those classes and work towards a certification for his CAA. So that is the Michigan Interscholastic Athletic Administrator Association Conference in Traverse City. And yes, it is grant funded.
I was just gonna say, is it Title II? Title II?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'd say at our last county superintendent's meeting, there was lots of talk about the things that are coming down. They had a representative from the MHSAA there. There are lots of things coming down the pipe that are changing drastically in the world of athletics. And so I think it's absolutely essential that Chris has that ability to stay on top and be aware of what those changes are that are more than likely going to be coming.
Somebody asked if it was grandfathered. Can someone elaborate on that? Grant funded. Okay, grant.
Yeah,
funded.
we pay for it out of our. federal
Excellent.
funds.
Okay.
I guess just for info for the board members that are added on, just a description of what Title II is, because I know like I asked, like,
So
what is
we
Title
get,
II?
every year we get money allocated to us. Dr. Hill, if you're fine with me doing this. Since I have some experience in this area. So the federal government gives us federal dollars every year to use for different things. So for Title I, it's usually for our at-risk schools that are qualified to give them additional dollar amounts for money to purchase things for at-risk. Title II from the federal is designed for professional development. So that's why Mr. Wright was asking, where's this coming from? It comes of our Title II budget. So we get an allocated amount that we can use as a district to pay for professional development. If we bring in guest speakers, again, sending teachers and administrators to conferences. The only money that can't be spent on Title II is our superintendent. But anybody else for professional development, that money goes there. Title III is used for our immigrants and our ELL students. That money goes there. And then Title IV is used for gifted and talented. We can use that money for paying for AP tests, enrichment, sending students to go do college visits, paying those types of things that we can use for that. But that's what we can use our federal dollars for. But there are regulations for each one of those categories.
All right, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Thank you very much. Moving on to the second from the discussion items list, overnight conference request for Michigan Music Conference with Marquita Moore. I believe they are on Zoom waiting for us.
Okay, yep. Hello, this is Marquita. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes, I'm here to request approval to attend the Michigan Music Educators Conference, which is Thursday and Friday, or tomorrow and Friday of this week in Grand Rapids. It is like it's the largest music teacher conference in the state, and it's an opportunity to attend workshops and sessions to help us provide the best up-to-date, high-quality instruction, get tech tips, and new things to use within the classroom. And it's also a wonderful opportunity to network with other teachers in the field and share best practices. And I think 5 other Taylor District teachers are attending, but I did not get my paperwork in on time, so I'm here today to request approval.
Any questions?
I see it's Title II funded, so that's it.
Thank you very much. Let's see, moving on to item 3, Taylor Sportsplex event agreement with Bridget Jarvis.
I believe I'm going to fill in for Bridget today. So good evening. The Special Olympics is coming up, and we would like to utilize the Taylor Sportsplex to host our event again. We are requesting that the board approve the payment of $600, which is general fund money, for the Sportsplex agreement for the 2025 Olympics. The remaining $900 will be paid through fundraising and other donations.
Is this the same amount as last year?
I believe so, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you very much, everyone. Let's see, item 4, IDEA full funding resolution. Read it again.
All right, so this year marks the 50th anniversary of the IDEA legislation that was passed for students with special needs. IDEA was groundbreaking legislation, and that was going to bring about the leveling the playing field and giving every student that fair opportunity, even those that have disabilities or other needs. And in this 50th anniversary of IDEA, we still see very often that it is not fully funded from the federal level. And so we are asking a resolution to come forward. There's a copy of the resolution in your packet, and I will read it here in a moment. But it's just imploring that we take the steps in the 50th anniversary of IDEA to fully fund what we need. And this is extremely important to our school district because we do have the third highest number of special education students in Wayne County. And I always point out to people, it's quite telling because we are not the third largest district in Wayne County, but we have the third largest population of special education students. So every bit of that funding that we can get is essential. It is important to our operations and what we can do to make sure we're helping to level that playing field as IDEA was intended. So the resolution we're bringing forth says, whereas public education is the cornerstone of our democracy, providing fundamental skills and opportunity to children across the United States. And whereas in the decade following the Great Recession, students across the U.S. lost nearly $600 billion from the state's disinvestment in their public schools. And whereas prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, both state and federal funding for public schools was already failing to meet the critical needs of students across the country. And whereas since the COVID-19 pandemic, students have needed additional academic, social, emotional, and mental health needs being met through targeted programming and additional personnel, enhanced professional development opportunities, new technology, as well as critical updates to school facilities. And whereas research has consistently shown that increased education funding positively affects academic performance, increases graduation rates, and impacts future earnings. And whereas when Individuals with Disabilities Education Act was passed in 1975, the federal government committed to pay 40% of the average per pupil expenditure for special education to ensure that every child with a disability has access to a high-quality education. And whereas the financial pledge for IDEA has never been met and is currently funded at approximately 10.7%, leaving a gap of billions of dollars needed for students. And whereas the Taylor School District is proud to serve a student population that includes 26% of students with disabilities. And whereas when the Taylor School District's costs to deliver the important services required under IDEA are not properly funded by the federal government, it requires us to reallocate money from other programs to make up for it. And whereas the federal underfunding of IDEA has negatively impacted the academic opportunities of all students for generations, not just those with disabilities. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the Taylor School District as follows. The Taylor School District Board of Education calls on Congress to immediately pass the IDEA Full Funding Act, which would create a 10-year mandatory path to fully fund IDEA. And the Taylor School District Board of Education calls on the state legislature to provide adequate, equitable, and sustainable funding increases to districts to mitigate the harm caused by decades of underfunded schools.
Is this like a resolution that like all school districts are passing? Is it
So
like a
yes,
Wayne
it's statewide.
Okay,
This has
I was
been
gonna say.
the push statewide.
I was wondering if it was a state initiative.
Correct.
through
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, so I guess my only concern is that, you know, we're asking Congress to spend money. There's a massive deficit, including $1 trillion debt. I would like to study the act more and look at potential funding mechanisms. Plus, there is looking at some new tax policy changes at the federal level. I'm not sure where this money would come from. I like the intention, don't get me wrong, but to support a piece of federal legislation that's probably hundreds of pages long that I haven't read yet, I'm not comfortable doing that at this time.
Any other questions or comments on the resolution? Okay. And then we have athletics construction manager. We have Gary Cat.
Oh, yeah.
That was.
Oh,
stricken
removed.
from-
My apologies. Okay.
Yep.
Then we are done with discussion items. So in the act of transparency, we are having an additional public comment section. It's happening right here. And let me read. Here we go. Thank you, everyone, for your patience. Thank you to all who are here, who are able to be here with us in person and online tonight. We understand the importance of continuing to keep you all informed and provide an opportunity for you to be heard. Tonight's audience participation will be for all who wish to speak, whether it be in person or online. We'll begin with those in person. If you would like to address the board, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. After all those in person have had the opportunity to speak, that opportunity will be given to those online. Please take into consideration common courtesy and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. We will provide and assist with timekeeping so that each speaker will be able to monitor their own time and know when to conclude. So all who wish to speak will have an equal opportunity to do so. If there are any questions at this meeting or by some other avenue, Superintendent Michael Wager or his designee will work on getting those answers in a timely manner. And just to let everyone know, for this section of public comment, this is exclusively talking about the agenda items at hand. The second public comment section will be for general public comment. With that being said, we'll start with those in person. Would anyone like to address the board about the agenda at hand? No, we will look towards those on Zoom. Would anyone online like to share any comments or have any question about the agenda items at hand? Okay, we will move on to our interim secretary.
All right. Item number 10 on the agenda is action items. First, we have the overnight conference request, MIAA conference, policy 6550. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the overnight conference request for Chris Simons to attend the MIAA conference in Acme, Michigan, March 12th through the 15th, 2025. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Morris. Is there support?
Second.
Support by Mr. Modarski. Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Ms. Fields.
Yes.
Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. Modarski.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Schufelt is absent. That carries 5-0. Item number 2, overnight conference request, Michigan Music Conference, policy 6550. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the overnight conference request for Marquita Moore to attend the Michigan Music Conference in Grand Rapids, Michigan, January 23rd through the 24th, 2025. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Morris. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mrs. Fields. Ms. Block? Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. Modarski?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Schufelt is absent. Mr. Wright is a yes. That carries 5-0. Item number 3, Taylor Sportsplex event contract, policy 6320. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the payment of $600 towards the Sportsplex agreement for the 2025 Special Olympics. The remaining $900 will be paid for through fundraising and or donations. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Modarski. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Fields. Ms. Fields?
Yes.
Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. Modarski?
Yes.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Schufelt is absent. Mr. Wright is yes. Ms. Block?
Yes.
That carries 5-0. Item number 4, IDEA full funding resolution, policy 6320. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the resolution for full permanent funding for IDEA. Is there a motion? Motion by Ms. Fields. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Ms. Block. Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. Modarski?
No.
Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Ms. Schufelt is absent. Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Black?
Yes.
Ms. Fields?
Yes.
That carries 4-1.
Okay, I believe that brings us to the superintendent's report.
All right, good evening, everybody. This was gonna be one of those nights where I had lots of legalese reading, because we had the resolution and the action items, but I have another resolution that I am bringing forward to you, but this one I don't need to vote on because this was voted on by RISA's board. So Wayne Risa has passed along to us the recognition of local school district Board of Education members. So I'm going to read to you the resolution that they have passed in honor of all the board members who serve throughout Wayne County. Whereas education is essential to the future of the 43 communities across Wayne County, as well as to the prosperity of our state and our nation, and the boards of education that represent the more than 260,000 students across Wayne County play a vital role in providing high-quality education for each student attending their schools. And whereas these dedicated public servants demonstrate an unwavering commitment to their responsibilities, voluntarily contributing countless hours of service on behalf of the students, parents, educators, and community members of Wayne County, making thoughtful and informed decisions on policies, programs, and resources that affect the quality of education. And whereas Wayne County School Board members, as local citizens, exhibit exceptional leadership and vision, advocating for the needs of students in their communities and engaging with policymakers in Lansing and Washington, D.C. And whereas Wayne County school boards understand the importance of ensuring access, opportunity, equity, and excellence in education, they are dedicated to advancing student achievement and well-being while ensuring schools remain safe, supportive, and inclusive. And whereas the mission of public schools is to meet the diverse educational needs of all students and empower them to become informed and productive contributors to society in an ever-changing world. And whereas the state of Michigan and the State Board of Education have declared January 2025 as School Board Recognition Month, providing an opportunity to celebrate the commitment, passion, and resilience of school board members. And whereas School Board Recognition Month highlights the champions serving on Wayne County Boards of Education who oversee pre-kindergarten through 12th grade and beyond, preparing students for success in a globally competitive society. Now therefore, be it resolved that the Wayne County Regional Educational Service Agency Board of Education, in honor of School Board Recognition Month, recognizes and celebrates the valuable contributions and exemplary leadership of the Wayne County School Boards of Education. Presented and adopted this 18th day of December 2024 by the Wayne Risa Board of Education. So on behalf of Wayne Risa, on behalf of our students and staff, I want to thank you as well for taking the time out of your busy lives to serve in this capacity as school board members. The decisions you make, the time you dedicate to it is all for the students and for the betterment of, the education we provide here in Taylor. And I appreciate and thank you for that support. The only other part I have for my superintendent's report tonight is I want to put out the reminder that we have been putting out the communications that we are in the process of our strategic plan development. So this is that we are working with the Michigan Association of School Boards, and we are going to be developing a plan that will have goals and action items that should help us move towards those goals over the next 3 to 5 years. And I want to bring it up tonight because we do have our very first input sessions will be taking place tomorrow here at the Board of Education office. So from 1 to 2 o'clock, we do have a session, and that is for our secondary staff members only. From 2:15 to 3:15 will be our administration staff throughout the school district. From 3:45 to 4:45 will be the opportunity for our elementary staff to come and present their thoughts. From 5 to 6 will be with our Board of Education. And then from 6:15 to 7:15 will be the open public for anybody, any community member, be it parents, be it students, be it, just if you live in the Taylor Schools community, it's your opportunity to come and voice your thoughts. There's also in our communications that we've put out there, if you are not able to attend a session, we do have the ability that if you go to the link, you go to the QR code, you can present and fill out the survey there and give your input and have a voice there as well. We do have a second date where we have another input session. That is going to be February 13th. So on February 13th from 11:30 to 12:30 is going to be student input. It's going to be my student advisory and then the advisories that have started at West, Hoover, and Taylor High. They will be sending students to that session. And then from 3 to 4 o'clock, we will have another open to the public, any community member session. So I really want to encourage anyone out there, please take part in this. This is a very important steps for us to be able to lead and move forward and to really reflect what the community wants us to do as a school district. So it's your opportunity. Give us that voice and weigh in on where we should go. So thank you.
Just one quick question. Would there be a way of getting a handout to the to the parents in the next like 24, 48 hours with the QR code and little explanation of how they could submit comments?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Just make sure it's nice and streamlined because
Yeah.
not everyone uses the website and
Yeah.
everything. So
Yeah, the only part we were kind of struggling is because with our communications, we're able to get it pretty easily to anybody. If you're a parent, if you're a staff member, it's the difficulties getting it beyond our walls.
Oh,
And we've been trying to do that as well. So yes, absolutely.
awesome. Thank you. Okay, moving on to item 12, the consent agenda, policy 0166.1 and policy 6470. Number one, I guess I can just approve the entire thing at once, right? Or like motion to get that through? Not motion, but
What, you have
Yeah.
to read the whole.
okay. Good
Yes.
thing. Okay, good to know. Actually, no, I don't. That's the secretary's.
I was letting you do it. I was like, all
I got
right.
ahead of myself. My apologies.
So item number 12 on the agenda is consent agenda policy 0166.1 and policy 6470. First, we have the minutes from the regular board meeting of December 18th, 2024. Second, we have the minutes from the organizational meeting of January 8th, 2025. Number 3, we have consolidated items, payment of current bills, certified, non-certified, and administrative reports. Motion made by Ms. Fields. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Mr. Morris. Mr. Morris?
Yes.
Schufelt's absent. Ms. Block?
Yes.
Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Fields?
Yeah.
Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. Madarsky?
Yes.
That carries 5. Back to you.
Thank you. So item 13, item scheduled for next agenda, Wednesday, February 5th, 2025. Good news, and then the student representatives from CTE.
Shouldn't we add the construction thing back on there? Like we talked about?
Yeah.
Yeah, we
The
can do that.
number 5, I think we called it.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
When we file the paperwork, we'll have that listed as well.
Excellent.
Okay. Back to public comment again. Fine.
Probably clarify in the future. Now we're doing this twice, whether you got to read that twice.
It's a good, we'll
A lot of words.
we're working out the kinks. Okay, so this is general public comment. Thank you all thank you to all who are able to be here with us in person online tonight. We understand the importance of continuing to keep you all informed and provide an opportunity for you to be heard. Tonight's audience participation will be for all who wish to speak, whether it be in person or online. We will begin with those in person. If you would like to address the board, please step up to the microphone and state your name and address for the record. After all those in person have the opportunity to speak, that opportunity will be given to those online. Please take into consideration common courtesy and keep your comments to 3 minutes or less. We will provide assistance with timekeeping so that each speaker will be able to monitor their own time and know how to conclude. So all who wish to speak will have an equal opportunity to do so. If there are any questions at this meeting or by some other avenue, Superintendent Michael,
Wager.
Wait, it is Wager, okay, thank you. Wager, or his designee will work on getting those answers in a timely manner. We will start with those in person. Moving on to those online. There is no public comment for today. Okay, moving on to back to where I'm supposed to be.
Item,
Adjournment for, to close session. Actually, no, that's you again. My apologies.
item number 15, adjournment to closed session, policy 0137.2 pursuant to Michigan's Open Meeting Act being Public Act 267 of 1976. And as amended, I move the board convene in closed session pursuant to employee discipline. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Morris, second by Mr. Madarsky. Ms. Schufelt's absent. Mr. Wright's a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Ms. Fields. Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. Madarsky.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
That carries 5-0. We will go into closed session at 7:07 PM. Corey, we're not in.
What's up?
We're not in.
We're not in.
Yeah, but you're on the back camera.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on the back camera.
Return from closed session at 9:21. We got into action item, XVI.
Computers.
14.
I will share with you. All right, we have item number 16, action after closed session. We do have one action item. We have motion to approve an unpaid suspension of 15 days and the placement on a last chance agreement for 26M employee Deborah Lucas. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Motion by Mr. Morris. Is there support?
Second.
Support by Mr. Mordarsky. Mr. Wright is a yes. Ms. Block.
Yes.
Ms. Fields.
As a past 26M union president who has represented the said employee, I abstain from this vote.
All right. Ms. Moore is absent. Mr. Mordarsky.
Yes.
Mr. Morris.
Yes.
Shufelt is absent. That carries 4-0.
Okay, moving on to board member comments. Do we have any comments from the board? This time it does not look like it, so we will move on to adjournment. Looking for a motion?
Motion.
One more time. Okay, motion by Ms. Fields. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, second by Mr. Mordarsky. Ms. Block,
Yes.
Ms. Fields,
Yes.
Ms. Moore is not here. Mr. Mordarsky,
Yes.
I am a yes. Ms. Trufel is not here. Mr. Wright.
Yes.
Okay, that it carries 5-0. And the Board of Education regular meeting for January 22, 2025 adjourns at 9:24 PM.